Hey, wonderful students. Welcome back to school, fall semester 2024. I'm your professor, Dr. Zaven O'Brien. I wanted to go over the syllabus before school starts so that way we can alleviate any anxiety and address any questions or concerns that you may have. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you right now so that way we can go over the syllabus and how I expect the course to be run this semester. So let's begin with the syllabus as it pulls up. All right, so here we have the syllabus, and I have three lecture sections this semester. I have two that are at North Las Vegas and one that is at West Charleston. I will be teaching Monday through Thursday at both of these locations, where Monday and Wednesday I will be at North Las Vegas, and Tuesday and Thursdays I will be at West Charleston. So this first week, leading up until school, we are going to just go over the syllabus. I want you to go ahead and get your textbooks. I want you to log in and establish yourself with Mastering in My Lab, which is done through Canvas. And I just want you to familiarize yourself with the online environment and with the physical space of either campus. After that, I have broken down the syllabus in order, or I've broken down the syllabus by date and week. And so this first week, it says August 26th and 27th, which is the Monday and Tuesday in which we're going to start. And we're going to go headlong into the semester, covering chapter number 1 and that PowerPoint. From there, I have it organized by week. And these weeks are approximate, and I will try to accelerate the pace so that way we can have time for a review before your exam. As we continue down to week number 4, along with some other weeks like week number 8, I do have your test dates already locked in. We will be doing in-class testing this semester. We will try to accomplish this by going to Building C on either campus and utilizing a computer lab to take the test online using a desktop and Canvas, Respondus Monitor, and Lockdown Browser. So that way you can get instantaneous feedback and you can basically evaluate your test in an online way. The reason why I'm doing this semester, as opposed to other semesters where I've had take-home tests, is unfortunately due to academic dishonesty. So I will still require you to download Respondus Monitor and Lockdown Browser through Canvas on your laptop, tablet, or cell phone in order to complete potential quizzes that may come up during the semester. But I will update you on the rooms that we will have these physical exams done in class, and the exams, regardless of location, will occur during the section time. And so when our class would normally meet is when we're going to meet for a normal class, but it will be in a different location, so that way we can take the test in that computer lab. And so moving through the schedule, you can see again that there are several test dates that are locked in. I'm going to try to adhere to this as best I can. You will need to take the test in person, again, using the computer lab. If you do have any conflicts, unfortunately, those conflicts are addressed as zeros unless you have some type of accommodation, which I'll go over later on. The final exam is going to be done on either December the 11th or 12th, depending on your section date. And again, I have locked that into the calendar as well. So this is my contact information. You can address me as Professor O'Brien, Dr. O'Brien, or shorthand any one of those, Dr. Z, Professor Z, Dr. O, Professor O. My office is located at North Las Vegas campus. It is in the S building, which is the entrance or the building that's directly adjacent to Cheyenne Road. It's the entrance that most people take this by the childcare drop-off. There's like a little traffic roundabout there. Once you go up the elevator or the stairs, the biology office is immediately located on the left, and you'll enter that biology office suite, and my office is the second on the right and is clearly labeled. I have my office hours below here, but I'll first talk about my phone number. This phone number that is located here, 702-651-4459, that is my office phone. Please leave a message. It is transcribed into my email so I can check it wherever. If you would like me to call you back, then I can call you back from my office or my cell phone, depending on whichever is most convenient or appropriate. This email address, zaven.o'brien@csn.edu, is the only acceptable email that I can utilize to communicate with you, or the inbox feature via Canvas. So if you do need to communicate with me, please use this email or Canvas, and I'll try to respond to your message within 24 to 48 hours. My office hours are between 11 and 12:30 p.m. on North Las Vegas campus, which is Monday and Wednesday, and Tuesday and Thursday on the top floor of the H building, which is the biology offices there. I'll have those office hours in a conference room, or one of the cubicles there. And that is between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. I also am employed at Nevada State University teaching anatomy and physiology this semester. And if you do need to reach out to me physically, I will have an office workspace there, which is on the top of KAB, which is the health sciences building essentially, and that will be from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. But outside of those hours, you can send me emails, or we can converse via the phone, and arrange other dates or times that are mutually convenient. The office hours are first come, first serve. I like to have and meet with my students on a regular basis. I strongly believe that students that make time to join me in office hours tend to do better in my class, either in a group setting or to get their specific questions answered. So I definitely invite you to come to my office to get what you need to be successful. These are the regular lab sections lecture sections for Biology 189, and some of the course information, which is basically explaining to you that this is a 4-credit course, a standard science course, which is about 3 hours of lecture and 3 hours of lab per week. Now, for this total of 6 hours of in-classroom time, I will go ahead and tell you that you are going to spend upwards of 13 or more hours per week studying exclusively for this class alone. This class requires discipline, it requires endurance, it requires fortitude and strength. This is not an easy class. I try to prepare my students as best as I can. There is no extra credit. There are no optional assignments to help boost grades. There is a total of 4 tests, which we'll go over in a final exam. And therefore, you will need to take advantage of outside study opportunities. I do encourage, of course, stopping by my office for office hours, tutoring, which is done through the Centers for Academic Success, also called CAS, or Student Success. And those areas are located in Building C. It's called tutoring. I definitely encourage group work, peer-to-peer learning, and I definitely also encourage SI, which is supplemental instruction, which is offered through other students that have attended and made A's in Biology 189 that lead instructional groups. So that way you kind of have a higher level of peer-to-peer learning. So if you feel already a little bit anxious about Biology 189, that is completely normal. But if you feel like you may need to remediate some topics, then you may want to consider taking Biology 095. If the first several weeks of class seem overwhelming, then you can sign up for the Late Start Biology 095 section, which will enable you to backtrack, if you will, to a class that enables you to go half of the speed and cover the full amount of information within a semester. So that way, when you do take 189, you will be more successful. And 189 is the only class that is allowed to transfer for credit for programs such as dental hygiene, nursing, sonography, etc. The textbook that we'll be using looks like what is on the screen. It is a white background with a red cover and a flower. You can pick it up on or at the bookstore. You can order it online and pick it up physically or have it mailed to you. The lab manual, which is different for this year, it has a front cover that looks like this. However, it is exclusively online. Note that it says it is a digital lab manual with an access code. You will need to purchase this and obtain a digital lab manual before the start of class. You will see that I'm wearing a lab coat. Lab coats are required for this class, and it is required 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, because that's when we start wet labs. So you do have a little bit of time before the semester begins in earnest, before a lab coat is necessary. The lab coat does need to go all the way to your wrist. Ladies and gentlemen, it does need to cover your chest area. So if you have a lot of cleavage, make sure that you can button the lab coat up to the top. The length of the lab coat needs to extend to your thighs. Ideally, it should drape down to your knees. There are lab coats that are more like technical lab coats or technical jackets. A lot of times they're used in dentistry or in pharmacy. Those type of blazer lab coats are not acceptable. They need to go all the way down. So here are some of the things that we're going to be learning about this semester. You can see how to evaluate basically everything that there is for biology and especially chemistry. I haven't had any issues with student behavior, but I will ask that your cell phones are placed on complete silence, not the vibrate mode, and obviously not a ringer. You are able to use your cell phone in class to take notes, to text message, to basically do what you need to. I've had students make recordings or videos during class for other students or for themselves. Obviously, I think that it's a great idea for you to bring a laptop or a tablet in order to take notes as well. And of course, old-fashioned paper and pencil, I think, is the best way, especially if you combine that with printing out your notes beforehand. Generally speaking, with my schedule, I will be on time to class. I especially will try to start on time. And for my Tuesday section at West Charleston, I will be finishing on time, meaning that I'll finish at 5:50. I will not be able to take questions after class as I have to go to Nevada State University in Henderson in order to have class at 6:30. And so it's already a tight schedule there. I do expect you to be prepared for class, which means reading ahead of time and completing any assignments that I have for that particular class time. I do hope to implement flipped learning, which is basically you're going to do a lot of self-study outside of this classroom, and then we're going to bring those concepts into the class and discuss them. You may have seen my Rate My Professor where students have talked about critical thinking questions, and I plan to work through those a little bit more this semester and fully involve you all, the students, in figuring out what those concepts are to help make you all better healthcare professionals. Please let me know if you're going to do any recordings, such as a video or audio. And if you do need those items, I can even bring them up to the front or carry them. You do need to have a tablet or a laptop and or a phone. iPhone, unfortunately, doesn't work with Respondus Monitor and Lockdown Browser. So your Android-based devices are going to be your go-to. I will still have the exams in person. We will go to the computer lab, as I said previously, to take our exams. But in the case that I do decide to do quizzes or some type of homework that requires Respondus Monitor and Lockdown Browser, you need to know how to use it and have it accessible for your machine. There isn't any food allowed in the lecture rooms, but please bring drinks if you do not, if you want to be hydrated. If for any reason I'm late, and I can be late sometimes, I will try to notify you all if I'm going to be later than 15 minutes. If I'm going to be later than 15 minutes, look for that communication. I try not to cancel class, but I will make some type of option available for you all. I do take academic dishonesty very seriously, which is why we're moving back to in-person testing, even though it's on a computer. Please do not use artificial intelligence for any assignment that produces a grade in my class. So if there is homework, If there's quizzes and obviously exams, I do not want you to use artificial intelligence in order to gain answers for that. However, I do encourage you to use artificial intelligence, and I'll show you all acceptable ways to enhance your studying and to become more proficient at learning as a student. It's just that I do not want the use of AI to be a contributing factor to your grade. I want all the knowledge to come from you. For the tests, there are 4 semester exams. They are not comprehensive per se, but they do build on one another. The exams do become increasingly more difficult, is what I've noticed through the past 3 years of teaching here at CSN for students' sake. And they have a vast variety of multiple choice question formats. And so it does include matching, identification, short answer, etc. But it is extremely rigorous and you need to study to the max. The final exam is comprehensive and it is used to replace your lowest regular test exam grade. So this is a huge advantage to you if you're unfortunate enough to miss an exam and you were credited a 0, or if you are improving through the semester, you're able to improve your grade by doing well on the final exam, which basically shows that you have mastered and relearned that material that you previously struggled with. These instructions that are here in the boxed area show you what Respondus Monitor and Lockdown Browser is like in order to set this up for your computer, just in case I do have quizzes or homework that requires it. For your in-person exam, I will provide paper and pencils. I will ask you to place your backpacks, any hats, cell phones. I'm really going to check this to make sure everything is put away before we begin the exam. If I find that there is a cell phone on your person, tablet, any type of essential contraband that I deem as contraband at that time, even though I try to be explicit here, then you will earn a 0 for that exam. So please, I probably wouldn't even bring water. It's just going to bring your own, you're only going to bring your own writing utensil and I'll provide the paper. Again, everything is going to be put away before starting this exam. Trying to see, your lab is actually going to begin next week. It's the first week of school. It will either begin on a Monday or Tuesday, and then the following week, because of the holiday, we will not have any labs. This is the grade breakdown for the course. I put here other assignments because I like to have a little bit of flexibility when it comes to making quizzes and homework for your class, depending on the cohort of students in that semester. That, you know, every semester is different, so I try to tailor every semester to the cohort that I have. You have 4 exams and a final exams, and you can see here that they are all equally weighted, 110 points, and that's why I'm able to replace that lowest grade. Your lab is out of 200 points, which is important. Technically, it's out of 215. You're able to miss 1 day per semester for the lab, just in case anything comes up. But there are absolutely no makeups for lab or lecture, and that grade just simply gets dropped in the laboratory. So your grade directly corresponds to the number of points in the class, and here is the number of points that corresponds with A, B, C, D, or F. There are no plus minuses given in this course. There's no extra credit. Your grade is completely earned by you, regardless if this is your first time taking the course or if it is your 3rd time taking the course. For this course, we do use Canvas. I suspect that many of you all are familiar with Canvas. If not, I would try to gain familiarity with Canvas as fast as possible. For mastering in my lab, you do need to have a textbook. As you will see from my professor, most students that are successful read the textbook, and they do activities in my lab and mastering. The code, however, is not required if you do have a textbook. Mastering in my lab is the online version of the book, and it does cost a little bit less because it is the online format as opposed to a physical copy. However, it's not required. So I don't have any homework or anything that's assigned through it. But it does have the online e-text. It does have practice test, practice quizzes, homework, spaced repetitive learning models for each chapter, and a cumulative test so that way you can practice your final exam. This is information on how to get access to My Lab and Mastering, which is done exclusively through Canvas. And so you'll just click through these in order to gain access to Mastering My Lab. The rest of these, the rest of this information is basically the standard language for a syllabus. We're going to communicate via email if you have any type of anxiety or concerns about your mental or physical health. We do have counseling. There's academic advising, which is offered through general advising and health science advising. I myself do a little bit of advising on the side. There is the Centers for Academic Success, which is CAS, which is essentially tutoring. There's TRIO for first-time college students. If you're a vet or if you need help with anything in terms of the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, whether you need a note taker, extra time on test, or you need to take your test in the testing center, you'll need to contact me beforehand in order to set that up. If you are practicing any religious holiday, it must be submitted within the first 14 days of the semester in order for me to make an accommodation for you. And this is also explained in the lab syllabus as well. And so here are some study tips. You do, again, need to make sure that you have adequate time carved out for this class. Again, it's going to take no less than 10 hours of outside studying per week. All right. And this is what I've seen through my student evaluations and faculty evaluations, the feedback that you all give at the end of the semester. Most successful students that are making C or higher are spending on outside time about 10 hours per week. Those students that are spending 13 or more hours are earning higher grades in the course. So this is a time-intensive course. You need to be disciplined. It does require a high degree of time management. So establishing a schedule, a regular schedule, adhering to a calendar. So having a physical calendar or reminders in your phone will help set you up for success. Taking good notes, especially finding good videos that correspond to that, printing out the slides beforehand, forming groups, and getting a tutor are all things that I feel are important. Mostly, I feel like you should read before coming to class. That helps you absorb the material a lot easier. And immediately following class, if possible, you should also review your notes to make sure that everything sinks in nicely. If you have any questions, again, come and see. These are instructions for Lockdown Browser for your own personal machines. So I do expect you to have them downloaded to your tablet or laptop, and I will try to give you as much notice as I can beforehand, alerting you to the fact that we're going to have an upcoming quiz that will be done at home. The last lab is just a signature page. You can sign it if you like, just acknowledging that that is the syllabus, and I've reviewed it for you. So next, we are going to just review Canvas, and let me pull it up, get you started. So this is the home page for Canvas. I will have announcements at the top, and you can see that I've already included one announcement for you. And so when you click on the announcement, or if it's emailed to you, you'll see it. And so here's my Rate My Professor link if you don't already know about me. I do care about all of my students. And of course, the main thing that I want you to get from this one announcement is just the introduction to class and the lab schedule. Yeah, that is basically it for the homepage. Let's go back. It has a lot of that syllabus information, and the next link is to the core syllabus. And so it has a syllabus again, and the first section are the weeks and the orientation of the course. But later on, what will happen is the due dates for homework, quizzes, and tests are going to populate. And so Right now, because you're seeing it from my perspective as a professor, I have a variety of different tests that I can select from and different homeworks and quizzes that I can assign, and it will show up in your calendar as a to-do item that is located here in the course syllabus area. If you want to view the assignments, the announcements directly, I have a tab for that. The modules are where everything will be located, including this video. I'm going to post that in the getting started area. Before every exam, and honestly, I will have everything open beforehand. And so again, from the viewpoint as an instructor, you can see that there's green checkboxes here indicating that this material is student facing and you can see it. Where it's not, that means that only I can see it. And I will make sure to have everything published and available for you all beforehand, so that way you all can study and print out materials in advance. And so I have everything organized by modules. Anything that's included within the unit 1, 2, 3, or 4 modules is represented on the unit 1, 2, 3, or 4 exam. If there are assignments, like I've mentioned before, there are many assignments. Currently, I do not have any of them available. But as soon as I do, they will populate in the syllabus page on your calendar, and there will be reminders for you to complete those activities. The same thing goes for quizzes. For Mastering in My Lab, you'll simply click that link, and it will bring you to the Mastering in My Lab section. There, you're going to click Get Started, and it's going to take you to my homepage. And it's saying create a course right now. However, on your side, it's going to take you to my homepage, and that is where we are going to access your online textbook and the practice quizzes, the spaced repetitive learning, the cumulative test. All of that online suite of information will be located in Mastering in My Lab. The same thing goes for Lockdown Browser. When you click Lockdown Browser, it's going to take you to our course Lockdown Browser area. I have lots of assignments and tests that require Lockdown Browser. In fact, any assignment or homework can be used with Lockdown Browser. And as soon as I activate it, then that assignment will require Lockdown Browser. And so in order to access that, you will need to access it through your desktop or an icon. So you're going to use the Lockdown Browser icon like Safari for iOS, like Google Chrome, Firefox. And then it's, as soon as you click on the icon, just like your regular internet, it's going to open up Canvas. You're going to input your credentials, navigate to that assignment or test, and then begin taking the test as described for you. I've left this next link up for you, which is called BrainFuse Online Tutoring. And it's going to be obviously online tutoring when there are times that you can't make it to campus, SI, or office hours. Lastly, StudyMate is another tool that helps you to make flashcards. And so I am a strong proponent and believer of the use of flashcards early on in the testing unit, and then transitioning to practice questions for final test preparation for each one of your tests. And so that basically sums up the overview of the course. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I hope this was a sufficient overview and it wasn't too long. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person on Monday, the 26th of August. And yeah, reach out to me if you have any questions. Take care and see you soon. Bye.